What if healing didn't come from a therapist's office, but from a park bench? What if four black men, each from different walks of life, came together, not for show, not for clout, but to talk real life, real struggles, and real healing? This isn't just a story about friendship. This is about vulnerability, accountability, and showing up for each other when the world tells us to suffer in silence. Welcome to the Brotherhood Bench, a quiet corner in the park that became a powerful space for truth, tears, laughter, and brotherhood. Because sometimes, the strongest thing a black man can do is simply sit down and be seen. Every Sunday at exactly 9 a.m., four black men gather at an old wooden bench in the middle of Westwood Park. No alarms, no texts, no reminders, just something deeper pulling them back each week, something real. The bench isn't fancy, the wood's worn, the paint's chipped, the metal frame groans a little when you sit down. But to Darius, Malik, Reggie, and Charles, it might as well be sacred ground. This story started 2 years ago when Darius, fresh off a rough divorce and carrying the weight of being a single father, found himself at the park after a sleepless night. He didn't come looking for anything, he just needed air, peace, space to breathe. That same morning, Malik happened to be there too. Quiet dude, Vietnam vet. Used to sit alone feeding the birds, drinking lukewarm coffee from a stained thermos. Darius sat down on the bench next to him without saying a word. For 5 full minutes, they just stared at the trees. One week, Reggie admitted he was scared to tell anyone he cried at night. Malik told him, "Son, I cry too. Sometimes it's the strongest thing you can do." Another week, Charles confessed he hadn't been to the doctor in years. Said he was afraid of what they might find. Darius nodded slowly. The fear of not knowing can take more years off your life than a diagnosis ever could. They celebrate wins too. Reggie landed a job and the fellas took him out for pancakes. Malik got a clean bill of health. Reggie and Charles showed up at his door with balloons like he was turning 8 years old. They laugh hard, roast each other mercilessly, and lean in when it matters. But most of all, they show up. Even in the rain, even when they're tired, even when life is loud and heavy. It's more than just friendship, it's accountability. It's healing in a world that rarely gives black men permission to slow down, feel, or speak on what hurts. That bench became their therapy, their church, their barbershop, their sanctuary. One Sunday, a young father walked by with his son and asked, "Y'all do this every week?" Malik smiled and said, "Every single one. Pull up a seat." That's when they knew this wasn't just about them anymore. See, this bench, it represents what many of us have been missing. A space where masks come off. Where we can cry without shame, speak without filters, listen without waiting to reply. A space where black men aren't required to be superheroes, just men. Honest, vulnerable, evolving men. So the next time you see an empty bench, don't just see a seat. See a possibility, a beginning, an invitation. Because you don't always need a therapist's office or a pulpit to heal. Sometimes all it takes is showing up, opening up, and being seen by someone who gets it. That's the Brotherhood Bench. The world rarely gives black men a space to just be, to breathe, to break down, to be held up by brothers, not judged by burdens. But the Brotherhood Bench proves something powerful. Healing doesn't always require a stage, just a seat. Support doesn't always come with a title, just time. So ask yourself, who's your bench? Who shows up when you're not okay? And are you showing up for them? If this story spoke to you, don't let it end here. Start your own circle. Start your own healing. Because strong men aren't silent, they're supported. Subscribe to Black Men Lifestyle and Healthcare for more real stories, real growth, and real brotherhood. Your health matters. Your voice matters. You matter. This is what brotherhood looks like. This is what healing sounds like. If this story moved you, Share it with a brother who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Black Men Lifestyle and Healthcare for more powerful stories that speak to our health, our strength, and our legacy.